Hello and welcome to the After the Movie podcast. You're probably here because you were looking for an actual movie review, but you didn't realize we're dumb. We don't give you the dry toast movie review everyone else gives you. We give you dry humping, potatoes, Nicolas Cage, gypsy love curses, prison rape, and masturbation curbing. Now,
Don't
why
forget
would you
eBay.
keep listening to us? That's right. You probably don't have any friends, but this show is for all those Steven Glansbergs out there. We're with you, so let's get dumb together.
I like the
I
deep
love
cut
it.
Steven Glansberg.
Hello and welcome to the After the Movie podcast, episode 7, where we reviewed Detective Pikachu. It's a movie about a world where people collect Pokemon to do battle. A boy comes across an intelligent talking Pikachu who seeks to be a detective. Now, this movie was suggested by me and watched by us four. One of our partners is not available for today's meeting, but we're all here to talk about this. Dane, how about you give us
Hello?
your rating?
Rating, out of 5 stars. I'm feeling a definite 4 on this one. Definite watch.
I'm watching it a 4. Watching it a 4.
I,
Yes, we're off to a good start here.
I
Mo.
love I love Beg's reaction right there.
Jesus.
Oh, actually, I had a little sidebar. I'm going to probably interrupt that real quick before I get to the rest of them. So we were talking about getting to know each of the cast members more. So today's spotlight is on Dane. Dane,
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
I noticed you had an interesting shirt on. What's with that? What is with that?
This right here, this guy, this is a t-shirt I got over at one of the local watering holes for everybody back home in Indiana. You guys know it, Franklin House.
Ah.
Oh, yes. Franklin House.
I don't like that
Uh,
establishment.
Yep.
Boom.
And I hate your stupid shirt.
Thanks.
I really regret saying that I liked it beforehand because I really dislike the Franklin House.
It's okay. Martin will just edit out the fact that you really liked it before you found out where it came from.
No, I think we should.
You will
keep
go
it
on
in.
the record as liking it. Yes.
Do edits on this podcast, so I don't think we should start now. Dane, I like your shirt.
Thanks. Thanks.
There wasn't some inappropriate jokes that I wanted removed or anything like that.
Dane, for anyone that's been following this podcast, they know that in the first episode that you were around, you got a new car, and you went to say the name of the car, but it was never actually stated. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I bought brand new 2020 Toyota Camry. The nickname that I have bestowed upon this is the She-Wolf, Part 2. It's a continuation from the old Volvo that I had when I lived out in Europe. That was the She-Wolf 1. I had to, very unfortunately, have to get rid of that car, one that I really loved. But the She-Wolf lives on in this ruby red Camry that I now have. So, yeah.
All right.
Why the She-Wolf?
That was the nickname that was given to that Volvo wagon that I had, and I didn't question that, but I'm not going to question. This
It
one
was
the
already
She-Wolf now.
established
You
when you
inherited.
purchased it.
Yeah, you inherited
When-
the
when
name.
I inherited the name after I purchased this Volvo V40. It had gotten through 2 or 3 owners before me. I ended up being the one that had to actually junk her in order to be able to leave Europe when I needed to, and I was really sad about that whole thing. I really didn't want to have to be the one to do that because it was a great vehicle that at that point had been running strong for 15, 16 years, never had to do anything besides the regular maintenance for upkeep and everything. But, yeah.
So to all of our listeners out there, if you're thinking about purchasing a new car, think Swedish engineering and think Volvo.
There you go. Absolutely. Buy used if at all possible. That shit was awesome.
No, Dane, if there's fake sponsor in this, then we got to buy new. They don't see
then,
any
but
revenue
either
dollars
one.
They retain their value as long as you're keeping the resale value and it's sought after for used cars.
Hey, Martin, that's right. That's right. You know, you buy a Volvo, somebody's going to want to buy it from you because it's such great Swedish engineering.
They'll hold,
Absolutely.
they'll hold their appraisal value for quite some time after you're already done with it.
It's not a Honda, boys.
That is true. Can't be Japanese. That's why I jumped ship from Europe over to Asia with this car.
Dane gave it a 4-star and a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Mo, what did you think of this movie?
I'm gonna have to give it a 2-star. Don't watch because
Ooh.
For the record here, I'm the only true Pokémaster in the group. I have collected all 151 Pokemon that you see behind me. If the graphic will let me show my arm, and and I've collected all the badges. So yeah, I think that I've definitely got the most valid opinion on this.
Well, Mo, I think the Pokémaster is a pretty loose term. I don't think there's actually a definition of a Pokémaster.
Oh, there absolutely is. You have to catch all 151 Pokemon, and you have to get all 8 badges, and beat the 4 people at the end of the game. I'm talking about the original Game Boy game, by the way. This is 1995 status. So
I was going to say, aren't there over 700 Pokemon now?
No.
You are not a Pokémaster.
Damn.
We need to get into Gen 1 and Gen 2 with this review because
Oh yeah,
I don't know. It was confusing.
I can do that. I can do that for sure.
Beggs, what did you think of this movie? Rating?
Well, I don't think that I'm a qualified enough nerd actually to review this movie correctly, but I gave it a 2 out of 5. And do not watch this movie. Please spare yourself the time.
Oh, boy.
Thanks. We got a duplicate rating here.
Well, it's definitely split down the middle because I will also give it a 4 and a watch.
Yeah, buddy.
So we have
This
a
is
battle.
Pretty interesting.
That's right, a Poke battle, if you will.
I love it. I love it. So okay, let's talk about the.
Damn you, Quinn! Why aren't you here this episode?
Post-op is pretty rough.
Let's talk about the negatives here. Why did you boys not like it? Beggs, you mentioned that you didn't feel qualified enough to talk about it. Can you explain?
Well, all right. So when I was a kid, I tried to get into Pokemon. Is that how you even say it? Is that how you say it?
Also known as Pocket Monsters. Yes, you can go on.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
I see there. I couldn't watch the cartoon. I couldn't get past the intro. I tried to collect the cards, and I didn't understand the idea of trading cards. Like, was I supposed to actually trade it? Were you supposed to flip a pog or something? I didn't understand how that worked. And then I also got really bored with the Game Boy system. I just couldn't do it.
The Game Boy game's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was just.
And for the record, with the Game Boy game.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
With the Game Boy game, just a real quick sidebar here. I actually didn't beat this when I was a kid. About 4 years ago, I had to reorder everything on eBay because I can't find all of my Game Boy stuff. So I reordered everything. I got red and blues so that could get all 151 Pokemon. And finally beat it. At rapidly approaching 30, I finally completed the quest.
So did you do Pokemon Go as well? Were you part of that wave?
A little bit. When they got into Gen 2, I stopped.
Oh, that's Gen 2. Okay, I don't know what that means either.
Did they only release Gen 1 for the first Pokemon Go series?
Yeah, so they released the Gen 1 Pokemon first, and that was all that was available. And I could get into that, but then when I started seeing all the goofy shit, that's when I was out.
The goofy shit. I love that.
Gen 1 just makes sense. Gen 2, what are these things?
Take a look at some of these figures behind me, and for those of you listening, I've got my backdrop as the original 151 Pokemon. You take a look at some of these behind me. They totally make sense. I mean, look at Polyworld there. Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It's a
No, I
water.
don't.
It is a water pog that wears gloves. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
with a
pretty
big swirl on it.
self-explanatory.
It's not silly at all.
I mean, duh. Yeah.
So you do flip a pog then to trade cards.
The-
Is that
the-
right?
okay, that trading card game didn't make
No.
any sense. No one. I don't think anyone could actually play it.
I had a what is it? A Charizard? What
Mm-hmm.
is that thing? A Charizard holographic card.
Charizard.
Mhm.
Apparently people
wow.
cared about that.
I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
was gonna bust out my Pokemon cards for this.
If you still
Yeah,
have
we got
that if you still have that Charizard, it could probably be worth a decent amount of money.
I still have a Charizard. I've got all my
think
Pokemon
I
cards.
think I traded it for a Squirtle or something. I have no idea. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, my
I love it.
Charizard holographic.
And leave the we
I
should
got.
probably
I
edit out
traded
that
John
last
B
name.
for it, and it's water damaged and really bad. My buddy
we should
Oh.
John.
probably
Let's call him
edit out
John
that last
Jake.
name.
No, that's too obvious. How about Jake
John-
Jakura?
Can we just put
All right, Mo, you're a Pokémaster. What were your negatives? Why did you
Okay.
not enjoy this film? With
So-
Ryan Reynolds being so lovable, charismatic, and great, how
Mhm.
were you not charmed by him?
Okay, so there was definitely things about the movie I did enjoy.
Ryan
I really
Reynolds.
liked being in a world. I've got some notes here. I really loved being put into a world where Pokemon are real and among us.
Mhm.
I didn't like the real world feel of it because, again, I like the game from '95 where you were walking around and it had a somewhat realistic feel, but there was a distinct differentiation between Poke universe and the real world. So I didn't like being so. I didn't like it being so modern. Here I've got a bitch about the 151 Pokemon, which I believe I've already touched on. Oh, I also have another fun note. See, as Martin was the one who picked this movie, he kind of set himself up for the story that he's so sick of and irritated by about him and his little buddy Squirtle that he had in junior high that he used to carry around with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Quick note, Mo, that ended in 5th grade. Okay, it wasn't junior high. So
Martin, on the cusp of manhood, was playing with this Squirtle doll, and
I was hardly pubescent at the time. I mean, I don't think it even counts.
and he'd kiss his Squirtle and put it in his locker and tell him he'd be right back. And
Mm-hmm.
he's so sick of the story
Yeah, I'm gonna edit this out so fast.
because everybody made fun of him for it forever.
Well, it's mostly Chris T, I will say. No, C. Tucker.
No, there's Corey T also.
Nuh-uh,
Let's
he
see,
didn't make
Terp.
fun of me. Maybe
Yeah.
he did.
He did all the time.
Nah, maybe.
Oh, and then
Well,
Beggs.
love how
My other note on this, Beggs, you had to have loved that it featured the Home Alone old time movie scene in it. Merry
Oh,
Christmas, you
An-
filthy animal.
I did love
angels
that
with dirty
part.
faces.
There we go.
I love
I-
that. I love that.
Probably watched that movie, but I love that part and the mime, and that was
The mime was good.
Mr. Mime
Mr.
was
Mime was pretty
hilarious.
Because he's such a crappy
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yes.
He really was not that good in the games. Yeah, that's for sure. I never had any desire to ever try and like catch one either.
I had to
Like,
because
at
I'm
all.
a Pokémaster, but
Yeah, he had to
Right,
trade.
right.
You had to trade for Mr. Mime, didn't you? You had
You
to
did,
trade
yeah.
a Spearow to get him.
it was. Yeah, I think that's right. It was either a Spearow or an Abra.
Oh yeah, might have been the
Yeah,
Abra.
it was one of those two. I
Beggs,
forget.
do you remember? Since you were such a huge Pokémaster back in the
I have no idea. All I know is that Psyduck was the most frustrating thing.
Psyduck was always the most
He was
frustrating.
That-
almost as bad as Frodo. This movie.
That was, yeah. I mean, okay.
It's just the most annoying, little stupid, anxious character.
But that's a throwback to the
Totally.
original show, which I think they did a good job with. Psyduck
Mhm.
was Misty's
Totally.
Pokemon and just really annoying and always there, but
hmm And according to the Pokédex, that's exactly what a Psyduck would do if he got super anxious all the time.
mm-hmm. What was it? Self-destruct? What would it do if it freaked out? If Psyduck freaked out?
It basically would just like it wasn't an actual move that you would be able to use inside like an actual fight that you'd have a battle, but it would be like the Pokédex has something to the effect of just like it would let out a psychic blast or something like that.
Well, he
Okay.
did do that
something
because I
like
was
that.
hoping he was actually going to explode, but he just.
I mean, he
I was
kind
like,
of
oh
did.
yes, he's going to blow up. He's going to be off the screen, but yeah, he just did his
That was the whole
little
reason.
sonic
It was
boom
that
thing.
was yeah. That was a psychic sonic boom. That was the reason that the Greninja
Yeah.
weren't able to take care of all the main characters. All
Is
right,
it
Beggs.
Greninja? Is that what that was?
The three Greninja that the sun unleashed on them as they were going through the old lab. Yeah,
Okay,
that
so that's a
was-
So I won't-
non-Pokemon, right?
Right, exactly.
that's from like Gen
I won't
5.
be, I won't be so cynical and old manish to say that that's no more stupid than Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan, but
That's true.
it's just I don't know.
Well, and, yeah, and at the beginning, I think there were Aripon. I think that's what that was. You get the same results with the Mankey. You don't need to go to Gen 2.
Now the stupid one that you don't have is those speaker ones. What kind of stupid ass Pokemon is that?
Hey, you
Oh,
shut
at
your
the
mouth. I had
club?
one of those in my old. I had one of those in one of my teams. I remember that one distinctly. I remember that one absolutely.
What's its name?
I forget. Like I remember the design of it, and I thought to myself, I need a normal type, so I'll just take one of these because it looks crazy. And then I trained it up, and I did good with it.
Are those the beatbox Pokemon?
Mhm.
Yeah, the beatbox ones that ended up
Oh.
like staging a freaking Skrillex concert as soon as they had like the Pokemon nip. Just
I liked that
escape
part.
into
That
the
was
into
better.
the
That
ozone.
was, what was it, like MDMA or PCP? What was the purple stuff supposed to be?
Pokemon crack.
Is it
Pokemon
Crack.
yeah. Poke crack.
crack?
Poker crack. That's why you had to find shady characters to purchase it.
Hmm. It's unfortunate that one of the shadiest characters in the whole movie was the only one that had a Charizard because I really like Charizard, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, but even in the old show, Dane, I mean, they had bad trainers with good Pokemon sometimes.
That is true. They did.
Ash
They did
Ketchum. He
indeed.
was a terrible trainer.
I mean, he did not actually end up winning. He did not end up winning the the Elite Four until like a season or two ago. Because did you know Pokemon the anime is still going on? Like they've released new seasons every year that they've had like new generations of Pokemon games come out.
That's ridiculous.
You see, and
It's on Netflix. You should check it out. It's great.
so a quick aside, again with my Poke nerd. I used to be a firefighter, and
Mhm.
I had to go. I had to go.
This is a long story. All right, the Firefighters
it's-
Guild is a.
so I had to go to a fire training down in Indianapolis, about a 2-hour drive from where I am. And when I was in the hotel room by myself, I sat down and I ate Little Caesars pizza. I did drink beer, not Mountain Dew, and I watched the original Pokemon show on my laptop.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking
Why?
about.
Because I
Why
love-
not?
All right. I just don't get it. It's hard for me to get it.
I'm glad that they showed even like for like this like 2 seconds that they actually showed them. I'm glad they at least showed my favorite Pokemon out of all 700 that are out there right now.
Which is
151.
Squirtle.
they didn't have enough
Snorlax.
Squirtles. I didn't see
I didn't
Snorlax.
see Snorlax.
Snorlax was at the very beginning, like as the main character. The main character's name escapes me at the moment, but he's just entering the city and everything right before he talks to the police officer with the snubble, and it's doing the whole montage going through the city and everything. And there's a Snorlax sleeping in the middle of the road, and a Machamp is like doing the police officer thing, like holding up a stop sign and saying "Go around" to all the
Yeah.
cars.
Oh, I saw the
It-
Machamp. I didn't notice the Snorlax.
Yeah, it's. I didn't like the fact that they made the Snorlax super like tiny compared to how I imagined that a Snorlax would be. Like, you think of a Snorlax, like you imagine something freaking gigantic, right?
Yeah.
But I really think that like most people walking around it weren't that much bigger than what the Snorlax was. So that was kind of strange to me. But
Boy, that Snorlax was a bastard to catch in the game.
oh, bro, he absolutely was, and he became my favorite one, like very closely after I picked him up when I was like 8 years old in my first run through Blue.
He just kept
I think
sleeping. He just kept
Yeah.
sleeping and regaining health. Oh, you had to
Yep.
get the Pokeflute to wake him up. You only have 2 shots to get him.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely probably going to get a Snorlax tattoo. Like, yeah, that's probably what's gonna end up happening.
Wow, you like him that much, huh?
I'm my thought process is I'm going to combine two of my favorite things that seem like to not come together at all. I'm gonna get a Snorlax tattoo, but he's gonna be wearing a Kuji sweater, just like just like how the Notorious B.I.G. did back in the day, and it's gonna be yeah, it's like a Biggie Snorlax thing.
Are you comparing Biggie to Snorlax? Are you
I'm not-
saying that
No one is
Biggie
comparing. No one is comparing them. I'm
no.
combining them.
To be fair, you did juxtapose them right out of the gates.
If I ever end up getting that, if COVID-19 ever stops being a fucking thing, I'll end up showing you guys. It'll be fun.
Martin, can I shift gears?
Yes, you may.
All right. So I know throughout the podcast I've had crushes on male actors, and then I've also had a dispute with Robert Downey Jr., which I hope is settled. I extended my olive leaf with him, so I don't want to get in.
Did you end up hitting him up on Twitter with that apology?
Yeah,
by
I
the way?
did. He didn't. I don't think he cares or anybody else cares
Bastard.
for that.
Because he's such a jackass.
I think the whole point of the letter was to make a personal affront, so that Beggs had a reason to dislike Robert Downey Jr.
It's justification for his hatred.
Here I am, a nice guy. I send out an olive branch.
He
So
had
I
his chance.
I don't want to do the same thing here with Ryan Reynolds because I do have a crush on him physically, but what's frustrating to me about, and I see it in this movie, so I did enjoy a couple of the I guess there's only 2 so far, the Deadpools that he played, because I think he does that great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this movie, his lines are overdone and over the top, and he plays the same Deadpool character but as a PG version to make him Pikachu.
I agree.
Okay.
Additionally,
As
the new movie that's coming out is, what is it? Free Guy, where again he plays Deadpool without a costume. It's the same thing over and over and over again. I don't know how many little witty lines that have underlying like sexual jokes he can play
And are
be
kinda
successful.
snarky.
wasn't
Yes.
this your same criticism of Robert Downey Jr. to begin with, that he was just a snarky asshole that just played himself, basically?
Yeah, they just had one character, which
But
is
Robert
himself.
Downey Jr. tried to be a man of the people, and Beggs didn't appreciate that.
Ryan Reynolds has his thing where he fell into, and I understand that, but he's not. It's different. It's not this isn't a personal attack against Ryan Reynolds.
We got to make sure that we make that distinction right off rip.
I mean, you can't speak ill of Ryan Reynolds. He's just too good. And yeah, he has one character, but he's that character that you think you can really spend your life with. Like, I think we all know. I think
That's
everyone and their spouse has the agreement. If Ryan Reynolds reaches out for either of us, we're calling it quits and we're going with them. And you got to be happy.
He's Canada's sweetheart.
Was he the same character in Green Lantern? I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't seen Green Lantern, so I can't really say.
Yeah, it's essentially the same. It's kind of snarky. There's less innuendo, but
I liked him in Amityville Horror, but then
I didn't see that one. I only saw I saw the original, not the new one that he was in.
Do you guys remember
okay.
Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place where he broke out?
Was he in that?
Not,
Yeah.
not in the
90s
slightest.
TV show.
Oh boy.
Oh damn.
Oh, I think that's before because he took like a acting hiatus. So I think he did those like the TV sitcoms. Sorry, and then he kind of just called it quits and then came back.
I think he did
Was he
Van
also-
Wilder before he called it quits. There was a break in
Hmm.
between Van Wilder and some of the other
Yeah.
stuff.
Was he also in the new Mickey Mouse Club, or was that Ryan Gosling that I'm thinking of?
That's Ryan Gosling.
Oh no, that's
Okay.
America's sweetheart right there.
I can't stand him.
I think he
it's
is America's
it's funny you
sweetheart.
say that.
You're right. Because
I
Canada's sweetheart is Ryan Reynolds. America's sweetheart's Ryan Gosling.
Ryan
It's
Gosling.
true.
I'm pretty sure you guys have that backwards because I think Ryan Gosling is Canadian and Ryan Reynolds is American.
Ryan Reynolds
Ryan
is
Reynolds
Canadian.
is from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
We're sure about that.
And America really just
Yeah.
owns Ryan Gosling, so you can't say otherwise.
I think that Ryan Gosling's from Utah.
I-
He's a former Mormon. Latter-day
Let's
Saint.
see.
We're not supposed to say Mormon
Ryan
anymore.
Gosling.
What are you're not supposed to say Mormon.
So I guess it's always been a
What's-
pejorative. They don't like it.
It's
Aren't
What
they
it's their- it's
Mormons?
on the title of their holy book? Like what?
Listen,
like
I'm not a Mormon. I'm not a Latter-day Saint.
Well, you sound like you're getting pretty pissed about it.
oh man.
I'm just saying that apparently Joseph Smith thought that it was pejorative, and so did the rest of his followers.
He wrote into the Book of Mormon that calling us Mormons is pejorative.
Martin Joseph Smith didn't write the Book of Mormon.
What? Well, what did he write?
He transcribed it
Oh,
from
that's right. That's right.
Golden
From the
Tablets.
golden tablets.
Sure.
All right.
Ryan Gosling is also Canadian.
They're both
Oh, is he?
Canadian?
They are both Canadian.
No, Ryan Gosling
No.
is American. America owns him. After the Notebook, he is ours.
Oh, I love The Notebook.
The Notebook was great.
It's a
The
fantastic
Notebook was
movie.
wonderful.
I have never
So
seen The
good.
Notebook.
Oh, it's
My
good.
fiance
Well-
really loves it, but she doesn't typically make me watch the rom-coms. So
Why? You must
That-
not be married yet.
There
Well,
was
Beggs, you know I'm not married yet. Whether you
will.
can, Beggs,
Your
you
household
were.
will be full of rom-coms.
So
absolutely.
I proposed to my fiance in California on a trip where we were going to see Beggs. He knows damn well that I'm not married yet. He was there the day I proposed.
It was a dad joke. It's a bad dad joke, but that's what they all are.
All right. Well, we know that we love Ryan Reynolds. That's all we need to know.
Right.
Well,
The Canadian.
Yeah, you do love
Ryan
him.
Reynolds, the Canadian.
Even
I
the
do love
Canadian.
them. Yeah, that's true.
I liked his character in this movie. I thought his snarky comments were perfect for a PG film. That his comedy didn't get lost.
I thought
At
that
that
I was
point.
just a little tired at some points. It was a little reaching sometimes.
I can see both sides of that. There were some times that I was just like, okay, it's a little much trying to like tone down the Deadpool type humor that I associate with that voice. But at the same time, there were some jokes that absolutely hit that a lot of 10-year-olds it's just going to go right over their heads. And I
That's
thought that
true.
was really good too. So he did well enough to tackle both of them. He didn't really land on every single one that he wanted to, but I mean, I think he did a really good job.
I think he did a really good job. Also, I just like I said, I thought it was just a little tired writing at some spots, but I thought that it was. I mean, as far as comedic timing, who's criticizing Ryan Reynolds? I mean, no one.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But-
The delivery is great. It's just we want to see something else.
And then I
Sure.
like the guy who played the villain a lot. The dad, the old
Oh,
English guy.
Bill Nighy.
Is that his name?
Yes, he is great.
He is a
He's-
fantastic character actor.
He's great. Yeah, I loved him in Shaun of the Dead. I loved him in the Pirates of the Caribbean that he was in. I really can't think of too many others off the top of my head that he's been in, but those two movies really stick out in my mind.
So I know I was just talking about how I don't watch a lot of rom-coms, but he was in Love Actually also.
That movie was terrible.
That movie was terrible, but he's
Oh.
in it. And I thought he did an okay job with it.
Yeah. That's the weird thing about that movie. We do sidebar for Love Actually. Everyone is really good at their parts, but the movie sucked as a whole.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
It just was poorly written.
Yeah.
It was, and the direction was fine too.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely was not. That as a movie was not as good as the sum of its parts.
Right.
Am I
Yes.
getting that? Am I getting that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if somebody picks it now, they're screwed. If Quinn comes back and picks Love Actually, he's gonna be shit out of luck.
We need to have veto power here. If everyone vetoes unanimously, you can't do it.
I can get behind that.
Never seen it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Don't watch. 1 star. Don't watch.
Pretty good at judging movies by the poster cover.
Mm-hmm.
Bex has an amazing ability to do that. It is uncanny.
I do.
What did you think of
Were
the
you able-
Detective Pikachu cover?
I wouldn't watch it if I
Well, yeah,
wasn't
but you-
forced to watch it.
No,
Just
I'm just saying. With your uncanny skill, did you look at this cover and say, "Oh, this movie's a 2"?
yes,
But he thought that because it had Pokemon on it. You would
exactly.
have thought that no matter what.
That's the cover, though.
I'm judging it like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Intuition is unmatched.
Well, there's not a lot to
So-
say about this movie, really.
No, I mean it's a
Martin,
kids movie, so it's tough to go
I-
into.
Martin, I wanted to ask, what exactly drew you towards this movie to make it your choice for this week?
So, and I think Mo will vouch for this, as a Pokémaster myself, growing up, I was always a fan of
trainer.
Pokemon.
Okay,
Mhm.
trainer.
Right. Well, yeah, you have to be a trainer to be a master, Mo. So,
You have to train enough to reach master levels.
absolutely agreed, and we both know what that's about, buddy.
You gave up on it on your second
So,
go after
I
3
thought
days.
that as an adult, I need an excuse to watch this movie when I saw it on Hulu. And I decided to drag everybody into it with me.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, I'm happy
Well
you did
played.
because it is a different flavor. So I mean,
Mhm.
I do appreciate that about your pick,
Hmm.
even if the movie wasn't very good.
No, just a stupid dog shit movie, but it was fun.
So what's the next dog shit movie we get to watch?
Well, let's see. I believe we're at the top of the cycle again now. And so is that Beggs then? You'll have the next pick?
Maine.
Oh, Maine.
Main Man.
Maine. Beep. Sir?
Mhm.
Another edit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there
Oh
it is.
yeah.
No, that's
I
not his
get it.
name.
We can edit out the part where I allude to it being close to his name.
Okay. Boys, I have been thinking about about my next choice, for weeks now, actually. And I want to try and extend an olive branch after the first movie that I chose, which, as many of our fans and listeners knew, was The Friends
And
of Eddie
significant
Coyle.
others.
And significant others, of course. Can't forget the significant others. That one turned out to not be such a good choice. So I think this time I'm going to go with something a little bit more modern. This one is a movie from the 90s, so I know that the rest of you, because you have 90s fetishes, I'm sure
Yeah.
you'll be able to enjoy.
Mhm.
This one is a comedy, and it's got the likes of Robin Williams in it. So perhaps some of you have seen it. I'm not sure. Please let me know if you have. I'm
Beggs is
selecting for next
waiting.
week. I'm
Flubber?
selecting for next week. No, not Flubber. God,
Do
not
it. Say
Flubber.
it.
No.
Say it. Say
No,
it.
the movie that we're going to be watching for next week is called The Birdcage.
Oh, never seen it.
Huh.
I love Robin
Never seen
Williams
it.
and the 90s.
I was
Oh
off.
boy. Oh
thought it was
boy.
going to be Father's Day. I really was hoping.
I thought it was gonna be Death to Smoochie. I've never heard of the Birdcage.
Or Jumanji.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Jumanji, a good one. Death to Smoochie, a great one. Like a really underrated black comedy. But the Birdcage, I actually, I'm going to go against my own philosophy, which was to choose movies only that I have not seen before. I have seen the Birdcage before, but I really want to know what your guys' opinions are of this, because I have a feeling that you'd probably enjoy this one.
Okay.
It's I won't talk about what it's actually about or anything, but I'm sure that once you see the poster for it, you'll probably have an idea of, you just like, oh, it's one of those. Okay, whatever. So
Well, we
yeah,
can look forward to that next week. So I'd like to do a call to action for all of our listeners who we love. And that is to please like the show, subscribe, follow, comment, and care on any and all of your social media outlets that you use. Anywhere that you get your podcast, you can find us. If you watch us on YouTube, please like and comment. And you can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is After the Movie PC.
And one more shout out. Thank you to our France listener who has listened to every one of our
Yeah, what's his username?
shows so far. I have no idea, but apparently they're in France or that's their VPN.
nice.
So a bon oui we will give you then.
Bon
A
oui.
bone
Bone-
wee. Wow.
Boners?
Wow.
Boner we? Oh.
I wanna be the very best no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Teach Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon.